chefs. 3 courses.
Feeling the pressure, guys.
Only one chance to win.
Let's go.
The challenge. Create an unforgettable meal from the mystery items hidden in these baskets before time runs out. Our distinguished panel of chefs will critique their work.
That is one of the worst things I've ever put in my mouth.
Brilliant and inspired.
And one by one, they must face the dreaded chopping block. Who will win the $10,000 prize? And who will be chopped? Amazing chefs are about to bravely march into the chopped kitchen. They all hail from the ranks of America's military. Let's meet them. First up, there's Chef Robbie Myers.
I'm a retired Army Senior Food Operations Sergeant, and I live in Adams Center, New York. I've been sent to South Korea, Germany, and Afghanistan. I was medically retired early because of post-traumatic stress disorder. I have struggled with PTSD. Will you set the table for me, William?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Bud. My wife and I have 5 kids. My family is why I'm still pushing forward. Cooking for my family is one of the most challenging things to do, but also one of the most rewarding. I can win chopped because I'm a great chef. If I can make it through combat, I can make it through chopped. Amen.
Then we have Chef Judy Cage McLean.
I'm the owner of Let Me Cater to You here in Spring Lake, North Carolina, and I cooked in the Army for 7 years. I specialize in comfort food with an upscale twist. I love the Army lifestyle. I love serving my country. I learned how to cook at an early age. My mom, she was on drugs, so I had to step up. So I am a fighter. Winning Chop would prove that I am as good as I think that I am.
Then we have Chef Victor Vinson.
I live in Huntington Beach, California. I've got 16 years in the Army Reserves, and I've cooked for soldiers all over the world. It was an honor for me to be able to cook for soldiers. It brings that little piece of home back to them. I've been in very high-stress situations, and I've cooked in every type of environment that you can possibly imagine. To me, cooking is my passion. My saying is that I have competitors, but no competition.
Voila.
And finally, Chef Jacoby Ponder.
I'm a personal chef and fireside chef here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I was in the U.S. Navy for 10 years. While in the Navy, I learned to cook with limited ingredients. It was real intense to cook in a situation like that. I'm a dad, 2 beautiful girls, Jaden and Israel. My wife and I met in the Navy. She's still in serving. She'd be out for the next 3 years. As for me, once I got out of the military and went to culinary school, my passion became me. I love to cook. I think sometimes restaurant chefs don't give the military chef the accolades that they deserve. So I'm coming to Chop representing the U.S. Navy, and I'm here to win.
Welcome, chefs. We salute you all. There are 3 rounds: appetizer, entree, and dessert. Each course has its own basket of mystery ingredients. Also available to you, our pantry and fridge. Each round is timed. When the clock runs out, our judges will critique your dishes on presentation, taste, and creativity. If your dish doesn't cut it, you will be chopped. Chefs, please open your baskets. What can you do with freeze-dried roast beef, torshi, rainbow chard, and Middle Eastern mint yogurt soda? The clock is set at 20 minutes. The appetizer round starts now.
The military has taught me how to work under pressure very well. And even though I'm feeling like these guys are my brothers and sisters, my mission is to win. When I smell the freeze-dried roast beef, it's worse than dog food. So I learned to use sausages to add flavor to the beef and make sauteed beef and Italian sausage. Being in the military, I've been in high-stress situations. But I'll tell you what, cooking is an extremely high-stress situation.
On board the ship, they yell out, "Man your battle stations." Behind. Well, being the only chef from the Navy, surrounded by all Army. Come down. The battle has begun. Freeze-dried roast beef is super salty, so I want to add vegetables to it to help balance it out. I'm making sauteed beef, wilted rainbow chard, and a yogurt sauce. I got out of the Navy, it was a very challenging to kind of transition over to the civilian sector and to be a chef. But competing here today would validate my decision.
This beef looks like cat food mixed with wood chips. And I'm just disgusted. Beef, 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 beef. I dropped this beef in some liquid because I know it has to be rehydrated. On these beds, I need flavor and I need fat. So I get the pancetta, I get garlic, I get onions. I recently lost my dad to a rare throat cancer, and I watched him fight for his life. And if I can fight as hard as I watched my dad fight, then I'm gonna win that $10,000.
I was in approximately 50 to 100 firefights while I was on my first deployment. We were in a pretty nasty spot. I mean, just because you might be preparing the food doesn't mean bullets won't start flying. The roast beef brings back thoughts of the extreme cold weather MREs they gave us while I was in Afghanistan. I grabbed some beef stock to rehydrate it so it had more body. Rainbow chart's very vibrant and it stands on its own. So my idea is to make a salad. It's been extremely difficult for my wife and kids living with me with PTSD. With all my heart, man, my kids and my wife deserve the most amazing, relaxing vacation.
Judges, of course, it is a huge privilege for us to have these service members here with us.
You know, the stakes are so high for these guys because right now they're coming back home and they're trying to transition back into civilian life. And they're trying to figure out if they're going to be food professionals.
You know, the other thing that I think is really interesting here is we have 3 people from the Army and 1 gentleman from the Navy. This is the fun part of it, serious competition.
I want Navy kick Army butt, 1 against 3. Torchy's pungent pickled vegetables. My goal is to completely take the pickle flavor away from these vegetables. So I just incorporate it with some onions and kind of sweat them out a little bit.
And chefs, you have 10 minutes left on the clock.
The mint yogurt soda, if I would have ever served it, I would have been thrown off the base. I'm bringing a little part of my Louisiana heritage, and I wanted to make a roux with it. Roux are very common in Louisiana.
Chefs, you're now down to 5 minutes.
In the chop kitchen, 20 minutes goes by like 2 minutes. All of a sudden, I realize, okay, I have to use this nasty soda. Whoa, that's nasty. This soda tastes like bad bath water. I'm thinking, okay, make that into a dressing. I'm surrounded by other members in the military, and I have no room to slack off now.
The mint yogurt soda, I saw Jude take a swig of one, and her reaction to it, I was like, oh, goodness. So I immediately open one, take a big whiff of it. It throws me off. I'm panicking. I can't get chopped in the first round over some stupid yogurt soda. I'm so stumped on this yogurt that it's really got me spooked. I'm panicking. Then it all of a sudden hits me, and I add the soda to the vinaigrette.
They're all working meticulously, checking the box. They are so disciplined.
And chefs, 2 minutes left.
Plates. In the Army, there's a saying, if you're on time, you're late. I grabbed the baguette, and I'm going to toast it because I wanted to put the roux over the top of the baguette.
I don't have to hurry. I have a lot riding on this. A lot of my Navy friends, they're going to be watching, so I want to make sure I do them proud.
1 minute left, chefs.
Because of my military service, I'm really good at time management. It's helping me to stay on point. All right. As I'm plating, I'm like, please let it look good. Please let it look good.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Please step back.
Time's up. I'm looking down at my plate, and I just made a salad. There's no way I'm going through to the next round.
Looking down at my plate, my presentation looks really good, but I'm thinking I got the upper hand.
I looked down and I realized that I didn't get charred on one of those plates. And I'm thinking, oh, that's it. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Chefs, you have arrived at the chopping block. The judges are eager to see what 4 former military chefs can do with freeze-dried roast beef, torshi, rainbow chard, and Middle Eastern mint yogurt soda. Chef Judy.
Today I have for you a chipped beef salad with the torshi relish and a yogurt dressing.
Well, I definitely taste some spice here, which I really appreciate. It wakes up this freeze-dried beef and gives it a whole nother dimension.
Yeah, that beef is a tough product to work with.
Yes.
I think this is really good, but this feels unfinished. Feels like this goes into a tortilla or a pita or something to give textural difference, but the flavors are very good.
Thank you.
So, Chef Judy, where were you cooking in the Army?
I was cooking at Fort Drum, New York, in the dining facilities, and then after 9/11, I went to Germany for support.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next up, Chef Robbie.
Today I prepared for you a rainbow chard and diced beef salad with some sauteed pickled cauliflowers on top and a mint yogurt vinaigrette.
This is a very bright, clean salad. The level of acidity is perfect. And I love the way you utilize the cauliflower, but I'm not finding any of the actual beef. I had like 2 little cubes.
I want a piece of bread or crostini or something to sop up that yummy vinaigrette. But I like that you use the Swiss chard as the salad green.
So, Chef, when did you leave the service?
Just got out about 4 months ago, was medically retired, been on 2 deployments to Afghanistan.
Wow.
We all thank you, of course, for everything you've done and do all the time.
Thank you.
Chef Jacoby.
Yes, I did a sauteed freeze-dried beef with torshi, wilted rainbow chard, and a mint raspberry yogurt sauce.
Now, did you serve at sea?
Yes, I cooked in the main galley. We served about 5,000 people on a carrier.
Wow, that's impressive.
The consistency of the chard is perfect. I like the yogurt sauce, but I do feel like there's a lack of seasoning.
I agree with you on the seasoning. I like that you added in this crouton. It's good. The raspberry yogurt, you know, I don't know that it pairs together.
Okay.
All right. Next, we go to Chef Victor.
What I made for you is sauteed beef and Italian sausage with mint yogurt roux, and then torshi and char salad.
How did you find yourself in the military?
I wanted to join the military ever since I was a small child, and as soon as I was old enough to join, I joined, and then I just retired last week.
How about this dish?
This is full of flavor. You really got a lot of flavor going on here.
I really like that roux that you made. I will say that the Swiss chard is very sour. I think you used a lot of that liquid, right, from the pickled vegetables.
Yeah, I did.
It's super, super sour. So it makes it a little bit difficult to eat that one component on the plate.
All right.
You know, there's a little bit of an issue with me. I didn't get any chard at all. Did you realize that you missed a plate with it?
Right at the end, and it was too late.
Also, the sausage on my plate is really undercooked. But the crostini with this roux you made is the single best bite of food I've had so far today. Really delicious.
Thank you, Chef Victor.
Thank you.
Thank you, chefs.
Ready to go to the next round.
I wish I had your confidence.
Yeah, I have a lot riding on this. A lot of my Navy people, they rooting me on.
You have to think quick on your feet.
That's
you
right.
have to do that in the military as well as in that chop kitchen.
So you could really see these chefs military bearing a very disciplined approach to this mission, like any other mission.
There's fewer things that I think I've ever experienced where you feel more humbled speaking to these people. And what I really like is that that beef is a challenging product to work with. And Jacoby developed a good flavor out of it by sauteing those onions and adding the garlic to the Swiss chard as well. I think he ended up with good flavor out of that beef.
Yeah, but he made a big misstep in thinking that the salt from the beef was going to season the chard. Because what he ended up doing is he had a plate of something that tasted incredibly under-seasoned and just bland.
I think we can compare his dish a little bit to Judy's because what she did was similar. She added onions, she added garlic, she added the beef to the Swiss chard and just created this, you know, saute of beef and Swiss chard. I think she gave it a little more flavor because she added some more spice.
You're absolutely right, but we were all missing some kind of bread or crunch. Robbie made us a really nice, bright, simple salad. That vinaigrette was one of the brightest vinaigrettes I've ever had here. So I really, really liked his dish, although I felt that kind of left the beef on the station. I had maybe two little diced pieces.
I agree. It was a little bit light on the beef.
Victor made a roux with mint yogurt soda, which I thought was really creative, and it had a lot of flavor in it.
A lot of flavor. I mean, what he did is he made a roux, and he used oil instead of butter.
Right.
The crostini was the best thing I ate the whole round. Hands down for me. But what was that sausage doing on the plate? and it wasn't even cooked.
We have to consider the fact that he left the Swiss chard off your plate.
But, of course, rules are rules, and if Victor failed to get the mystery ingredient on one of your plates, somebody else will have done something pretty serious.
Yeah.
I'm kind of worried right now. I put out some raw sausage, and then I missed one of the items on the plate. Hopefully the judges won't chop me.
It wasn't the best I could do. I can't let the Navy down. I don't want to be chopped.
So, whose dish is on the chopping block? So, whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Victor, you've been chopped.
Chef Victor, this was a particularly difficult decision for us because some of the things that you were able to do were actually spectacular. That roux with the mint yogurt soda was not only creative but delicious. Unfortunately, you have to get all the ingredients that are in the basket onto the plate. In addition, your sausage was a little bit undercooked, so it is a shame that we have to let you go.
Thank you.
Honored I had to hear it.
I feel like I represented the military. I'm leaving the Chop Kitchen very proud. It's disappointing. I wish I wouldn't have made some mistakes that I made, but I mean, hey, you know, you make mistakes in life, you move on.
Chef Judy, Chef Robbie, Chef Jacoby. 2 rounds left. Stay tough. Please open your baskets for the entree round. And we have Afghan flatbread, goat chops, zucchini, and survival candy. 30 minutes for round 2. Time starts now.
This goat reminds me of when I was deployed in Afghanistan, and we hadn't had meat in a long time, and we had purchased goat to slaughter, and we served it to the troops. I know what I want to do with it. I'm making a pan-roasted goat chop with sautéed zucchini and red wine and tomato sauce. The survival candy, I can use it to give a little bit more flavor to the goat meat. The big stressors at home are no one wants to hire Dad because he has PTSD, and it hurts because the PTSD came from serving and protecting their right to be in the job they're in. If I win Chopped, it's really going to help me with finding a chef job.
Come down, come down, come down.
Gotcha.
After the first round, the judges definitely want to see me step it up a notch. So I want to show them that I have the fight in me to come out victorious.
You know, Jacoby needs to really step it up this round, especially with his seasoning. He almost went home in that first round because his dish was just a little bit bland.
I have a little experience with goat, and I immediately think curry. So I grab curry powder, a little bit of smoked paprika, and some salt and pepper, and then fry it. My wife is in the Navy right now. She's currently out to sea, and I've been juggling a lot, being a parent and starting my own business. Coming here today, I'm hoping to leave here with confidence of, hey, keep going, keep doing it.
I'm up against Jacoby and Robbie. I can't slack off because these guys in the military are tough, so we all have to bring it this round. Goat chops. I've never cooked goat before, but I know how to cook meat. And I just knew goat and grill was gonna go together, so I grill it over rosemary. My zucchini, I just want to do a simple saute with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper and onion. I want to show that female Army chefs rock.
In these baskets, we're trying to represent the kinds of combinations of ingredients our military chefs might find in their hands.
I loved Robbie's reactions when he opened the basket and he saw the flatbread and then the goat. So I imagine that he's seen them before.
I see the Afghani flatbread and immediately go back to time when one of the Afghan local nationals brought us some Afghani flatbread, and it's very delicious. I break the flatbread down to turn it into a crostini because there's really no crunch on my plate, so I get it saturated in a hefty amount of butter and toast it in the oven.
The Afghan flatbread. I don't just want to do a crostini, so my plan is to go with a crumbled crouton. I blend up my bread, I season it with a little salt, pepper, and olive oil, and I just pop it in the oven to let it get a golden brown color on it. All right, baby.
And chefs, this is the 15-minute mark.
My mission is to kind of wow the judges with my home-style rustic cooking, so I want to reconstruct this bread into savory Afghan bread stuffing. I use rosemary and sage because I'm not afraid to use both flavors. Along with the stuffing, I want to do a potato. So I boil my potatoes off, go along with my fried goat.
I realized I got to get that zucchini going, so I sauteed it and let it sit there and soak up a lot of butter.
That's survival candy. Does it have vitamins and minerals?
It's carbohydrates.
Survival candy tastes like a cherry cough drop.
Candy, candy, candy. The wild card here is the survival candy. I don't know what to do with it other than make a sauce. I melt down my candy, and as it begins to melt, I blend it with some cream and whiskey. Oh, yeah.
Tasty piece of the candy, and it's sweet, so I want to melt it down and kind of get a sauce going. I add some hot water to it, and I take some of the bones from the goat chops and add salt and pepper and diced tomatoes to it to kind of pull it all together.
All right, chefs, just under 5 minutes left on the clock.
Hot stuff coming through. I ain't talking about me.
Love her.
She's awesome.
I'm having fun in the kitchen, and when I have fun, the love shows in my food. When I taste my sauce, I'm thinking, it may go good with the goat. I don't like the color, but the flavor should win the judges over.
And chefs, this is your final minute.
Time is running out. The kitchen is chaotic. The stuffing I'm tasting and the sage is not really coming through how I want it to come through. So I'm keep adding more.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Please step back.
I'm sweating this round. Time is up, and I'm thinking, I hate the color of the sauce, but I gotta go with it.
Time is up. I look down and I noticed that I may have put a little bit too much of the rosemary on my plate. I look over at Robbie's dish and I see that he has a 5-star restaurant dish. I am a little worried.
Brought to you by Weber All Natural Barbecue Sauce. Why grill with anything else?
The entree round brought Afghan flatbread, goat chops, zucchini, and survival candy. So, what's for chow, Chef Robbie?
Today, I prepared for you a goat chop seasoned with survival candy, rosemary, and thyme. There's also sauteed zucchini, an Afghan bread crostini, as well as a red wine and tomato reduction.
I have to say, this goat is cooked absolutely perfectly. I mean, it's stuff like that that just makes me happy.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love what you did with the bread. And if you were to tell me that there was candy in this basket, I would say, you're crazy. I love that you use it as sweetness, but it wasn't overly sweet.
Yeah, but I find myself wishing that there was a little bit more of a richer sauce. But I do have some big chunks of fat on my plate, which is kind of unappetizing. But I mean, in terms of the flavor profile, presentation, and technique, really, really, really solid.
Thank you, Chef.
All right, Chef Robbie, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, Chef Jacoby.
What you have here is a curry-crusted goat medallion, sauteed zucchini, herb potatoes, Afghan flatbread stuffing, and a survivor candy tomato sauce.
Well, I think looking at the Afghani flatbread and deciding to make a stuffing is wildly creative. You're giving me this plate that has stuffing and potatoes and these delicious chops with this lovely glaze on them. So this feels very comforting.
So, talk about taking to a different level in the next round. There's a lot of very assertive flavors in here.
Thanks, Chef.
A lot of raw rosemary that you've chopped up, right? I think because there's so much rosemary in those potatoes, it overpowers almost everything else. One of the great things about cooking is it's like art to a certain extent. It's knowing when to stop.
Yes, Chef.
All right, Chef Jacoby, thank you.
Thank you.
Chef Judy, entree time.
What you have here is a grilled goat with sauteed zucchini, with crumbled Afghan crouton, and a survival candy cream sauce.
I'm going to jump right into this. I have good news and bad news.
Okay.
Probably the best goat of the round. Really delicious, perfectly cooked, but the zucchini's not cooked. I have pieces that are literally sort of raw.
I'm going to disagree. I like the way my zucchini is cooked. I like that little bite, that little bit of crunch. I wouldn't consider that raw in any way.
I agree with Chris. I think that my zucchini is just really undercooked.
But the bigger issue is the sauce. These guys maybe disagree with me, but I don't think that you've taken the processed candy flavor sort of out of it. It tastes like melted candy, which does not really work with everything else you have on the plate.
Thank you, Chef Judy.
Thank you.
Thank you, chefs.
think he did. I think over-seasoning might have been my undoing, man.
They loved your dish the most.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting kudos across the board, man.
It's a toss-up in the air.
Well, not that you'd expect anything less from soldiers, but these people seem really competitive now.
I have to say, in this round, to see what Chef Robbie prepared was nothing short of really spectacular food.
With the exception of a big piece of fat on my dish, which was very unappetizing, he pretty much nailed it.
Yeah, he did. He did. And, you know, we were talking a lot about how well Judy did with the goat chops. She seasoned them well. She gave them a nice sear on the grill. I thought her whole entire plate was really nice, except for the sauce.
Oh. Yeah, that sauce was bad.
That sauce was bad. I think there were some really poor choices that she made there. And I agree with you, Chris, that her zucchini was completely undercooked.
You know, I think Jacoby used the candy really well. He made this tomato glaze for these curry spiced chops, and it really worked.
The flaw in Jacoby's dish was his overusage of herbs. And that's the thing. We said in the first round, we wanted to see him get a little bit more flavor inside those dishes.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely obeyed our orders. And he was a good soldier, but, you know, he did it to the nth degree.
I'm feeling pretty good. That sauce kind of stumped me, but I'm still in there.
The judge did ask me to step it up a notch this last round, and I did exactly that. And I'd rather be chopped.
So, whose dish is on the chopping block?
This Food Network program is brought to you by Wonderful Pistachios. Get crackin'.
So, whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Judy, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef Judy, I loved everything else on your plate, but the sauce. The survival candy sauce really didn't taste good. And so, Chef Judy, we had to chop you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you all so much for the opportunity. I'm glad to be able to meet you. Can I shake your hand?
Please, please.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So good to meet you.
Thank you.
That candy got the best of me. But it's not over for Chef Judy. I believe I represented the Army well. And I came here to chop to inspire others. And I hope that that's what I accomplished today.
Chef Jacoby, Chef Robbie, Army versus Navy. A well-established rivalry. But who makes better desserts?
About to see.
We'll find out.
Please open your baskets. And your desserts must include pomegranate, pilot bread crackers, fruit chews, freeze-dried carrots. You have 30 minutes to work. Time starts now.
I can't believe you have this Army soldier and this Navy sailor go head-to-head, just like in the big football matches, but now it's the Army-Navy bake-off. I want to take it for the Army, and I'm going to. Pomegranates are great. I grew up eating pomegranates, and so I decided to make a deconstructed sundae with pomegranate ice cream. My inspiration for this dish is my kids. We always have ice cream sundae birthday parties. I'm competing here today because the $10,000 is going to be an awesome treat to take my family on a nice little vacation. My family needs this, and I'm going to bring it home for them.
Right now, in the kitchen, it is highly competitive. So it's like all out. Immediacy to carrots, I think carrot cake, but I don't have time to make a cake. So I know bread pudding doesn't take that long. I grab eggs, heavy cream, sugar, and whiskey. I've made bread pudding several times before, so I'm real comfortable with it. My culinary regime is to have my personal chef business to flourish and grow.
Judges, it's a tough basket.
No doubt. I mean, first of all, you have to struggle with the pomegranate.
Yeah, and these pilot crackers have virtually no flavor. There's no salt in them at all. They are designed to last 30 years.
The pilot bread crackers, they look like teething biscuits, but I figured they would play well with the freeze-dried carrots as a crumble for the ice cream. I add sugar and sprinkle the crumble mixture into the skillet. Now, I need to get the ice cream into the ice cream machine because if I don't get it in now, it'll never set properly.
With the bread pudding, I want to allow it time to get cooked and set. Pilot crackers are real bland, so I run to the pantry, get butter and brown sugar to turn into a crumble. It was very challenging when I got out in the military. It took me a while to become a personal chef, but being here, it shows me that I'm heading in the right direction.
Chefs, you're at the 15-minute mark.
A sundae without chocolate, it's not a sundae. So I double broil some milk chocolate to make chocolate sheets to go on as garnish. It's melting quick. I take it over to the anti-griddle, and I've never actually used the anti-griddle. This is a huge risk right now, but in the military, they teach us that you have to take that huge risk in order to accomplish the mission.
I checked the bread pudding, and it's cooked real slow. I'm really nervous. If this bread pudding does not cook on time, that's it. It has to work.
All right, chefs, 5 minutes left on the clock. No sense of what either one of them is doing with those fruit chew candies.
Well, here's the perfect place, though, to have fruit chews candy. It's fine in the dessert basket.
Yeah, but what do you do with it?
I don't know.
Time is counting down, and with the fruit candies, I'm going to melt it down and turn it into a sauce. So I throw it in the pan, squeeze some orange juice into the pan, add sugar, blueberries and raspberries, and just crank the heat up.
This is a battle to the finish here. Army, Navy against each other. They're really bringing it.
I'm hustling around the chop kitchen as like I did in the Navy. All these fruit chews, I definitely want to melt them down and do a sauce, but I don't want it to be overwhelmingly sweet. So I'm going to add the whiskey and a little bit of the pomegranate.
1 minute, chefs.
I need to get the ice cream coming out of the ice cream machine. So I run over, and sure as can be, it's coming out just silky and smooth. I'm thinking, pack your bags, honey. We're about to go on vacation.
I finally take the bread pudding out of the oven, and wow, it worked. It held together.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Please step back.
The time is up. First thing that pops into my head, it definitely could be better. When I look over at Chef Jacoby's dish, I just think, oh boy, this vacation, it could be taken away from us.
Now it comes down to that final basket. Pomegranates, pilot bread crackers, fruit chews, and freeze-dried carrots. Chef Jacoby.
What I have for you is a savory carrot bread pudding with pomegranates, a fruit chew sauce, and a pilot bread cracker crumble.
I think this is really good. I think that there's just the right amount of sweet. My favorite thing is what you did with the pilot crackers. It's sort of really sweet, crunchy garnish on top.
Thanks, Chef.
I like the sauce that you created. I definitely wanted more of that and less of the raspberry.
Yeah, it's just not necessary.
Okay.
So I think this is your most successful dish of the day. And the very subtle sweetness that you have of the bread pudding with the texture of the carrots, it's really, really well done.
Thank you.
All right. Chef Jacoby, thank you. And your dessert, Chef Robbie.
Today, what I've prepared for you is a deconstructed sundae. We have pomegranate ice cream, a pilot cracker and carrot crumble with a hard fruit candy and berry sauce. It was really inspired by, my kids, because we do ice cream sundae birthday party.
That's nice.
I like that you gave us this chance to build a sundae. And dessert, I think, makes everybody feel like a kid at heart. And as much as I love the ice cream, I love what you did with this sauce.
Thank you, Chef.
My big issue is that there's just really no pomegranate flavor. It's just not coming through in the ice cream. But the crumble's great, so that worked out really, really well for you.
The texture of that ice cream is perfect. But again, it's very neutral in tone. There's a little bit of sweetness to it, but it just doesn't have anything that's flavorful besides the sugar and the cream.
Remember, the judges will take into account all 3 courses as they make their final decision. Thank you, chefs.
Army versus Navy is a classic battle, and it's a toss-up right now.
I think we brought honor to the military with our sportsmanship.
I have to say that both of these chefs in this dessert round showed great finesse.
I think Robbie kind of finessed the dessert round. The ice cream, the texture is absolutely perfect. It's just absolutely no pomegranate, none.
Well, all right, 4 mystery ingredients in that basket, and you're not tasting one of them. It's kind of, that is a problem.
You know what? Jacoby gave us a really, really good dessert.
Yes, he did.
The bread pudding was delicious.
My favorite component on Jacoby's dessert was that sauce and that texture. It was sweet, but not an offensive sweetness.
I agree. Let's move on to their entrees.
Robbie's goat chops were really spectacular.
Amazing.
That little crust that he put on the goat chop with the survival candy. Just really a deft hand.
Yeah, but I had some fat on my plate.
Jacoby put so much on the plate. Dried herbs, fresh herbs. He really went overboard.
But I love that curry coating on the exterior of Jacoby's goat chop. I mean, that he was wise enough to coat it in that beautiful curry and then deep fry it. It was a really wise move on his part.
Right. And then coming out of the gate, Robbie's appetizer, it was lacking the freeze-dried beef.
But he gave us a very bracing, acidic vinaigrette with the Swiss chard. He gave us that roasted cauliflower that was pickled.
Jacoby in the appetizer round really highlighted the ingredients. I think everybody else hid the mint yogurt soda. He added yogurt to it. He added more mint to it. I'm making something with this ingredient. I think it goes with my dish.
It's no question that Jacoby took creativity, for sure.
I agree.
But Jacoby's dish was really lacking seasoning.
I would love to win today. I can't get this far and not bring home that grand prize.
I would love to win 10 grand doing what I love doing. It would show me that I have the ability to become an even better chef than I am right now.
So, whose dish is on the chopping block? Chef Jacoby, you've been chopped. Judges?
Chef, you ended up with a fantastic dessert that really impressed us. Your appetizer course, you had great components, but unfortunately you didn't have something that really brought it together. With your main course, it was a similar thing, but you have a great future in culinary.
Thanks, Chef.
And we're really proud to welcome you into our group.
That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. Congratulations, man.
Good job, bud.
Even though I didn't win today, hearing the judges tell me welcome to their circle, it shows me that bright future. Those are words of encouragement that money could never replace. I'm walking out here today with my head held high, knowing that I honored the Navy best as I could.
And that means, Chef Robbie Myers, that you are the chopped champion and the winner of our special military tribute competition. Also, you're leaving here with a check for $10,000. Bravo.
Congratulations. Nice job.
I needed this. My family needed it. So it feels amazing to have been given the honor of being asked to come here.
The honor is ours.
Ever since I've been medically retired from the Army, it's been a big struggle. But winning CHOP is the start of a new chapter in my life. It's the dream come true.